Welcome back to another podcast with Mr. Hagan. And on this podcast, we are going to continue to look at examples of two real-world events. So here I have a good in this example of skim milk, and I have two real-world events. Now I apologize; these are a little small. I had to shrink them up a little bit to fit them. So I'll read through them in case you can't see it well. So the first real-world event says, farming newsletter predicts higher skim milk prices in the future. Okay, that's a farming newsletter that's making this prediction. And then over here, a new study emphasizes the importance of a low-fat diet. So my good's going to be skim milk. So this is a quantity of skim milk. This is the price of skim milk. And of course, we have the supply curve and the demand curve, current equilibrium price, whatever gallon of milk costs, and the current quantity of milk being bought and sold in the market. So now let's come back over here to my real world event. I'm going to look at this one first. Farming newsletter. My real world event is a farming newsletter predicts higher skim milk prices in the future. So, this is something probably that farmers are reading. So I think this is going to happen on the supply side of the market. This is going to be on the supply side. So I'm going to look at the supply determinants. And I think my supply determinant is going to be a change in expected prices. It's going to be a change in expected prices. Now, if I'm a farmer and I read this newsletter and say, oh, prices of skim milk are going to go up in the future, what do I want to do? I want to sell less skim milk today. I want the skim milk that I have, I want to put it in my in cold storage, and I want to store it and save it for the future. So I want to pull that milk that I currently have off the market, store it, and then sell it in the future when the prices go up. Okay, so if I think that prices are going to rise in the future, then I'm going to reduce the amount that I sell today. I'm going to reduce the amount that I sell today, so the supply curve for skim milk is going to shift in to the left. The supply curve is going to shift into the left as producers take skim milk off the market and store it up to wait for those higher future prices. And then over here, the consumers say, oh, new study, low-fat diet. Oh, yeah, I got to get healthy. And so, boy, I better stop drinking that whole milk. I better start drinking some skim milk. So my determinant there is going to be a change in tastes and preferences. That's just my shorthand there. Change in taste and preferences. People want to drink more skim milk because it's healthy, and so the demand curve is going to shift out to the right. So the demand curve is going to shift out to the right. So we have the supply curve went left, the demand curve goes right. That leads to a new equilibrium, and we can clearly see at this new equilibrium that the price of skim milk in the market is going to rise. We're going to get an increase in the price of skim milk, and then on the demand, on the quantity, it's going to be indeterminate. The way I drew it, it looks like it just about stayed the same, but that's just the way I drew it. Again, the magnitude of the shifts, quantity could have gone up, it could have gone down. So we're going to say quantity is indeterminate. Quantity is indeterminate. So what do we say happened on the demand side? Well, the demand curve shifted to the right, so we say that's an increase in demand, and the supply curve that shifted to the left, so we're going to say that's a decrease in supply. We had an increase in demand, decrease in supply. So if farmers think, just to summarize, if farmers think prices are going to be high in the future, they're going to sell less skim milk today. Supply goes left. Consumers, they want that healthier diet, so they want to drink more skim milk. Demand goes right. That causes an increase in price. Quantity indeterminate, increase demand, decrease supply. This has been Mr. Hagan on another podcast. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next podcast.